Hello, I'm Pastor Dave, and this is your 3-minute recap for October 19th, 2020. Here we go. This week we looked at wisdom, tying it into our Bible study on the book of Daniel. Now, wisdom is interesting because it's something that we value as a society, but it's not something we pay a lot of attention to. Now, when we look at the source of wisdom, it's painfully obvious for us. It's not a trick question. The source of wisdom is God. And it's important to remember what the ultimate source of wisdom is for us, so we do not confuse it with book smarts, intelligence, knowledge. Wisdom is distinct from those, mainly because of what wisdom is not. I mean, look at it this way. Book smarts is not wisdom. Being able to pass a test, win a game, have knowledge of trivia and other information does not necessarily make one wise. There is a distinct difference between wisdom and just knowing information. If you don't believe me, if you have cable, go on and watch reruns of The Big Bang Theory. Even in those fictional characters, you will see there is a distinct difference between knowledge of things in the world and actual wisdom. But wisdom is more than information because it's not something that can be held or developed within one person. Wisdom requires an outside source. Now, the secular world would say that experience makes one wise. In faith, though, we say it is God. And the wisdom comes from how God bestows it upon us and allows us to use the book smarts, the information, the experience, the knowledge passed on to us, and to make us wise. So in faith, that exterior source is God. But even in recognizing that God is the source of our wisdom, there is one thing we really need to keep in mind. There is a big distinction between the knowledge of God and wisdom from God. I mean, you could read all the books behind me on these shelves, full of knowledge from the church fathers, from biblical scholars throughout the centuries, and that's not going to make you wise. It may make you intelligent, but not wise, even if it makes you more open to God. And one key distinction of wisdom from God is the fact that knowledge cannot hope to become wisdom unless it's used. God bestows wisdom and even knowledge upon us for it to be used for God's higher purposes, not just to enrich ourselves, not just to keep for ourselves, but for the glory of God and the fulfillment of God's will. So there's your recap for this week. Remember, we worship every Sunday at East Salem at 8:45 and Otterbein at 10:15, and we live stream that 8:45 service on the East Salem UMC Facebook page. Also, don't forget, Daniel Bible Studies are Wednesday night at 7 o'clock in person at East Salem, or you can watch on Facebook. We'll try to make it better. But until next Sunday, I'm Pastor Dave, and I hope to see you in the pews.